Awesome. Hi, everybody, the Love and Impossible national areas. I am so excited and so proud to be able to teach you guys a little bit today about team building. So it's like my favorite topic ever. This is what I'm most passionate about. So I'm really excited to be talking to you guys. My name is Jocelyn, and I'm an independent senior sales director, Equinox driver, soon to be Cadillac unit. And I'm so happy. Like I said, we're talking to you guys about this today. It's like the best thing ever. And so we all know, right, that skincare classes are like, and you might want to get a piece of paper and a pen if you don't have one. So we all know that skincare classes are like the lifeline of our business, right? And really, I think that I heard Bria Kernan say this the other day, that really leads are the main source, because you have to have leads to book parties, right? So anyways, parties are the lifeline of our business. And so I believe that team building is like the blood that runs through Mary Kay's veins. I really do. And so when you build your team, you're not only helping other women, you know, to better themselves and also helping them to make a career if that's what they choose to do, but you're also you know, helping them in another aspect of their life. Maybe their confidence. It could be just the fact that you cared about them enough to ask them to do it. It could make their whole life. It could make their whole day. But you know what, maybe it's just for them. Maybe they just want to make a little extra money on the side, you know? So whatever it is, you know, it is their choice to make. Okay. So just remember that, because we're going to go back to this, their choice to make. So also this gives you the opportunity to move up the career path and to earn another avenue of income. And so you could earn a car, you could become a director. I mean, really, like, you can do it however you want. And so the main things I'm going to talk about today, for those of you who are really organized, the main 5 things I'm going to touch on is the career path. Okay, so like how we move up the career path. Oh, and by the way, I realized there was a bunch of packing peanuts on my floor right behind me. But you know what, as a mom, we make things work, right? And our packing peanuts are made of potato and cornstarch. So my kids got in my box. I have a party here in a couple hours, and so I was setting up for that, and so they got in the box and just took all the products out, and so I didn't pick those up. So just part of how we work our business, being a work from home mom, right? Okay, so 1 is the career path. Number 2, I'm going to talk about the recognition you can earn. 3, how to share the opportunity at your skincare classes. 4, how to schedule your sharing appointments with your sales director. And 5, the difference between a quality, and I put quotations mark, quality and a not quality recruit. So first of all, let's talk about the career path. So before I talk about the career path, have you guys ever had a job? Okay, I'm sure maybe some of you already do. Have had a job where, you know, there were certain aspects about the job that you really liked, and there's other aspects you don't like. For example, if you work like a desk job, okay, so you probably have to like enter paperwork online, or like in like the system somehow. You have to make phone call, file paperwork. And let's say you don't like to file paperwork, so you just don't file paperwork. Do you think you'd keep your job for very long if you just like didn't file the paperwork? Chances are probably not. So, you know, I think that my point is if you treat your Mary Kay business like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. And so my point is you guys, if you're not wanting to build your team, like, what is your main source for doing Mary Kay? Like, what is your main reason for doing it? Because if it's like, if you came in to make money, which, you know, I did, I don't know how many of you guys did, you know, you want to follow the money trail. And so, you know, that is why I think we need to, you know, really make sure we're treating our business like a business. And, you know, if you're a brand new consultant, just to say, if you're a brand new consultant, you're like, oh my gosh, like, how am I supposed to team build? I have no idea what I'm doing. The great thing is that we as sales directors are going to be the ones really guiding your people. So like, you can recruit them, and then we're going to really help guide them into doing all our new consultant stuff. And, you know, you don't have to worry about that, but you're going to change women's lives in the process of doing this. Then once you get more comfortable, you can start working with them more. So, you know, I'm assuming most of you started for business. So you're leaving money on the table when you're not building your team. I don't know if you guys know that, but you are. So you're leaving money on the table. So yes, you can make money from doing your skincare classes and of course selling the product. But if you get the penny out of your eye and you see the dollar, then you will be able to see that by building your team, you can put so much more money in your pocket. Stephanie Coker said, follow the money trail, right? Follow the money trail. So do you want to make money while you sleep one day? I know I do. Like, I know Jan Harris, she was in a training and she said, you know, when John and I first started our journey with Mary Kay, we had $250 in our bank account. And now she said, I make $250 per minute. That's crazy. 200, I mean, like, seriously? Like $250 a minute? That's nuts. I don't even want to figure out how much money that is, because that's a lot of money. So my point is, if you want to make money when you're sleeping one day, building your team is how you're going to make that happen. You know, for example, for myself, you know, when I had Audrina, she was 2 weeks late, and I had to stop working longer than what I had planned for, and I was totally fine. Like, my paycheck did not waver. I mean, I think I did like a month of like not doing any parties. And so my point is that, you guys, when life happens, when something happens to you, if you build your team, it's gonna back you up. And it's the great thing about Mary Kay is that, like, I can still work with my girls through the phone. You know, it was not like I wasn't calling them or texting them, checking in with them here and there. So if you're a new consultant, don't think I'll just drop off the face of the earth. But, you know, I took that time when I needed to take that time, and I don't look at Mary Kay as like work. And so for me, working with my team, that's just what I do. That's what I love. So, okay, so let's talk about the career path. So the first step is you're a consultant, okay? So a consultant is where, you know, you build, you have one team, you have no team members. And so you're just selling the product, selling it 50%, okay? The next step is the senior consultant. So that is where you make a 4% commission, and that's when you have 1 to 2 team members. You make 4% commission off anything that was 1 or 2 team members buy from the company, okay? Remember, keep in mind that when you get paid off of your team members, this does not come out of their pocket, it comes from the company's pocket, okay? Next step up the career path is a star team builders. This is our red jackets, okay? So this is where you have 3 to 5 team members. And this is, you get a 4% commission. And then you also are going to receive a $50 bonus for anybody who comes in with a $600 order or more. You guys, that is huge, okay? Like, bonuses are awesome. Like, do not pass those up. So, okay, team leader is when you have 5 team members, okay, and you're gonna again make 4%, or I'm sorry, you make 9 or 13% commission, and then you also get the $50 bonus. You guys, that's a huge shift, 9 to 13%, okay, and then and you also earn that as a future independent sales director, which is with 8 team members, and then once you get to 10, that's DIQ. That's really exciting. Okay, so that's the career path. So when you break it down, look at the numbers, like, go through and, like, I mean, seriously, like, and ask your director, like, if DIQ is something you want, ask her to sit down with you and show you the commission structure of a director in comparison to a consultant, because it's huge, you guys. For doing the same work as a consultant, I mean, you give yourself like a 300% pay increase. So it's huge. So that's another reason to share. Plus, y'all, when you're not sharing, you are basically saying to people, like, when you have a party and you don't share the opportunity, you know, you're basically saying, like, you know, you don't deserve this. Like, I do, but you don't. And I know we don't look at it like that, and we don't view it like that, but you guys, I really believe in my heart, it is selfish of us to not share the opportunity with people. You have no idea who the next Leah or the next Lily or the next Crystal or the next Jan Harris or Stacey James, they could be in front of you. They could be in your party. And so, you know, just, and a lot of times, you guys, these women, well, I'm going to get ahead of myself. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. So, but that leads me to saying, like, don't judge people. And whether they have a lot of money or they don't have a lot of money, do not judge them. You guys, I think sometimes, no, actually always in our society, we look at people on a scale of how much money they make, and then we rank them, and that's awful, and that's not how life is. So don't judge them. Do not make that judgment call. Like, you need to share the opportunity with them. You know, my mom makes a 6-figure income where she's working, and, you know, she's working to quit her job and do Mary Kay full time. And so you just may never know how much this woman could use it. You just have no idea. So the next thing is the recognition. And so the recognition, you guys, is amazing. It is my favorite part. So, like, when you're a sales director, you get to, like, this year I get to walk Tara across the stage at seminar as a brand new sales director. And you guys, that is the best feeling in the whole wide world. So you get to walk across stage, you get like extra name badges. I mean, you get to go to leadership conference. I mean, you get to have like a director debut. Like, the recognition is amazing, the free cars. I mean, and people like start to know your name. And so the recognition is awesome. It's so much fun. And it really makes you feel amazing. So the next thing I want to touch on is how to share at your parties. So first of all, you guys, starting with your I story. So write this down. Start with your I story. So at the opening, okay, of your party, you want to say, oh my gosh, like, you know, Sarah, how do you know the hostess? Mary. And you have them all go around and say one thing, like, they love. I always have them say one thing they love about the hostess and where they know them from, because it really gets them kind of comfortable. And then I say, okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. Oh no, sorry, my necklace just broke. It's okay, my husband can fix it, but it's my Mary Kay. Like, all of my jewelry I wear is from Mary Kay, so he'll fix it. Anyways, so you know, I always do that, and then I say, okay, just so you guys don't feel like you're talking to a stranger the whole time, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. This is like you're like, this is who I am. This is why I do Mary Kay. And these are my future goals. So I always talk about who I am, kind of where I came from, you know, my background a little bit, but you don't want to make it too long, but I would say like a minute, 2 minutes, something around there. I'm really bad with timing, so maybe that's too long. I don't know, but you want to make it probably like a good minute, or maybe 2 minutes. Maybe not 2 minutes, like a minute and a half, whatever works for you. So anyways, you know, you just want to do that and say, okay, like, this is where I'm going. So like I always say, you know, when I was a DIQ, I would say, oh my gosh, like at the end of this month, you know, my goal was to finish DIQ in 2 months. I finished in 3, but every month I was like, oh my gosh, like I am going to be wrapping up my directorship at the end of this month and earning my first free car. I'm so excited. And so I would always talk about that, and I would say, thank you for being here today, because you were helping to support my family and me. And I always, you know, one of the things too that I always like to say is, like, you guys absolutely do not have to buy anything today. Like, I'm going to just get the elephant out of the room, because that way they're kind of like, oh, and then sometimes some of the women, and they will still buy from you, but you know, women will buy when they're more comfortable, if that makes sense. So anyway, starting with your I story, tell them about your dreams. That will help motivate them. And you guys, you can borrow your director's accolades. Like, if you don't have any accolades like that you want to talk about, go ahead and borrow theirs. But I honestly think that women really like to hear, like, okay, this woman is brand spanking new, and look what she's doing. Like, she's brand new, she's impressing me. So I don't even think you have to go into that if you don't want to. So anyways, we play the Mrs. Cabs game. So you want to write this down, okay? So we play Mrs. Cabs. So MRSCAB, and I'm going to write that vertically. So again, M. So M stands for money. And so I just say, okay, we make 50% of everything we sell. And then the cool thing is that money goes to your pocket right away. And then you can also make money off your commission, so off building your team. And that comes to the company's corporate pocket, not from their pocket. And you can go on and talk a little bit more about it if you want. Okay, so M is for money. R is for the rewards and recognition. So I always say, oh my gosh, you guys, all the jewelry I'm wearing is from Mary Kay, literally, and all this. And so I just say that. And then like, even if you just have your pearl earrings and your pearl bracelet, you know, that's impressive. So being like, oh, my earrings and this, if you ever got a star prize, or you could be like, you know, my director has gotten like an espresso machine and like a fire pit and dishes and pots and pans. You know, you can go on and on like that if you wanted to. And I also talk about with the R, I do recognition there too. So I talk a little bit about how we get recognized at our meetings. We have the tiaras, all that good stuff. The next thing, S, that is for self-growth. And so I just always tell people, I use myself as an example. I usually say something like, oh my gosh, you guys, I used to be so shy before Mary Kay. Like, I would have never gotten up in front of you guys, like, in a million years. And so I just say, you know, it's really, and you don't have to do that if that's not you. But for me, my confidence used to be really, really, really bad. And so I really love that, you know, you can share that and just be like, this is where I came from and this is where I am now. And I always just tell people, like, hey, you know, I was shy and I had low self-confidence, and I just thought that was who I was. I was like, oh, this is who I am, and it's just my life. This is who I was meant to be, and it's not. And so anyways, I share how far I've came in the self-growth aspect. C is for the car, so just talk about the different cars. A is for advance. Like, you can, and I always tell people, like, you can move as quickly as you want in this company. Like, so I know somebody who came to the company and she was a director in a month of joining. A month, or no, 2 months, because she joined, but whatever, still a month. Like, seriously, that's crazy. And she earned her car. I mean, so really, you can really do whatever, and you can move as fast as you want. And I really like that. And then B is just for boss. So I always tell people I love the flexibility of this of Mary Kay, because I have women that are in the Army that do this. I have women that go to school full time. I have single moms. I mean, so it's made for any woman in any aspect of her life. And then I say, okay, I want you guys, I talk about the starter kit. I say, oh, the starter kit's $100 and has $500 worth of product in it. And then I just kind of hit on, like, you guys, I never thought that would change my life, but it really is. And if your life hasn't changed from it yet, you can just be like, this is changing my life. And then I say, okay, I want you guys to write 1 or 3 letters on your paper for me. 1 second. 1 of 3 letters on your paper for me. And so I say, either write an A for absolutely sign me up, I want to do Mary Kay. B for, like, buy me a cup of coffee, I'm kind of interested, but you're, you know, a little bit crazy. And then C for, I'm just not interested in opportunity, I want to be a customer and pay full price. And then I learned this from Bria Kernan, you want to repeat it back. So they're hearing A last. So I say, okay, C, just want to be a customer. B, buy me a cup of coffee, tell me more. A, sign me up, let's do this. So, okay. So that is the Mrs. Cabs game. You guys play that at every single party you have. If you have a one-on-one facial, just what I do is I just go through the business cab and I just talk about it. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our opportunity because I do this everywhere we go because you just never know who could be interested. And so then talk about it. Or, you know, if she has questions, then you can take more time to answer those. So anyways, next is how to schedule your sharing appointments. So I love when people write a C on their paper, actually, before we do that. So I love when people write a C on their paper. So when you're looking at their paper and you're closing them out, because you want to close the sale first, okay? So you're closing them out and then you say, oh my gosh, I see you wrote a C on your paper. So you're not interested in the opportunity. And I usually word it like that because usually they'll be like, well, I would be, but I don't have the time. I don't have the money. You know, I already work another full-time job or whatever. And I say, oh my gosh, like, I totally understand that. And you know, then just kind of lead into it. Like, just have a conversation with them and be like, I totally get that. You know, I actually work full-time as well. Or, you know, my sales director, she worked really, like, she worked full-time while doing this. And so, and then just saying to them, you know, we don't have sales quotas. And so you don't have to do a certain amount every month. So would you want to meet with like me and my director at like Starbucks for a free cup of coffee? I would love if she could just tell you a little bit more about it. And I just think you're super sharp. Like, even if Mary Kay's not for you, I would love if you could do that. And then just go from there, you guys. It's just coffee. It's just coffee. And so when you put it like that, I think people are like, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal. So anyways, when people write C on their paper, like, don't let them walk out the door. And if they write an A, be like, oh my gosh, girl, are you ready to sign up right now? If they say, yeah, hop out your phone and let them sign up. If they put B for buy me a cup of coffee, just say, oh my gosh, like, what interested you about Mary Kay and what intrigued you about it? And just listen to them and then kind of feedback what they're saying. But anyways, I recruit a lot of C's, because usually they get confused or they just assume something. So no matter what letter, talk about it. And like I said, ask them what intrigues them, and then when they tell you like, oh my gosh, I would love to make more money, then being like, yeah, so like if you were able to make more money like with Mary Kay, like what would that do for you? What would that do for you and your family? And it really gets their brain going. And so again, if they want to sign the spot, just let them sign the spot. And the other way is schedule them at Starbucks ASAP. So you guys, this is really important. So focus, really important. Urgency, working by urgency. Okay, when somebody is interested in the opportunity, you want to schedule them within the first 24 hours, 48 hours at the most, but you could be losing them then. And here's why. After 24 hours of them going home, if they're really interested in it, if they're anything like me or most people, they're going to go home and they're going to Google Mary Kay. Or they're going to like ask Aunt Sally Joe, who did it like a million years ago. And so the point is you want to get to them before they get to the point of Googling it or before they get to the point of like calling people, because then bugs are going to get in their ears. People are going to bring them down. People are going to say, oh, you can't do that or you can't do this. And you want to get to them before that happens. Or if it does happen to them, you want to talk to them very soon after. So that way they can, you can, you know, help with the damage. But that's so important, you guys. If you've already done the appointment, sorry, I don't know why I take notes because I don't even follow them. So you can say, for a script, I kind of already said this, but you could say, listen, I know Mary Kay may not be for you, but I would love to meet with you at Starbucks and just have my director talk to you a little bit more about what I do. You are so motivated and fun, and I would be kicking myself in the butt literally if I didn't ask you. I would love to do life with you, but even if it's not for you, it's totally fine. Like I would love to meet with you. So anyways, know your averages. So know that, like, say you're somebody who's sitting and you're like, oh my gosh, I've done 5 sharing appointments and I only have like 1 team member, or I only have 2 team members. So know your averages. So as a director, I recruit 1 in every 3 people that I sit down with at like Starbucks and share in person. You guys, that is so important. So sharing in person is amazing. It's my average is higher than on the phone. I think over the phone it's like 1 every 4, 1 every 5. So, but if you're in an area where you're not near your director, you can meet with her at Starbucks or meet with her wherever, and then either Google Hangout, Skype, or just call your director, because the power of being in front of somebody is huge. Like Jane Harris just said, be belly button to be belly button. She said, do not ever forget the power of being with somebody. So if you're frustrated, ask yourself, am I doing the sharing appointments to get there? Ask yourself, in your parties, are you picking out 1 to 2 people at every single party and saying, I'm going to ask her to meet with me at Starbucks, even if she's not interested? I mean, seriously, you guys, Crystal Clausen is a perfect example of this. she works full time at the hospital, and she's on call all the time. And, but she loved the product. I was like, please just meet me. Please just meet me. Okay. She joined. She placed an $1,800 order like the next day, and this woman can sell like no other. And she is working on moving up their career path. I mean, seriously. So asking yourself, are you doing the work to get there? Are you asking people? Because she put a C. She was not even interested at all. I just bribed her with a cup of coffee and maybe like an eyeshadow or something. But my point is you guys ask. You're never going to know. There could be like Lisa Allison. Oh my gosh, this is a perfect example. So I was just in Austin with 8 national sales directors. Crystal was there, Leah was there, Lily, everybody. And Lisa she said, well, I went to this whole party. This woman was just like miserable. She was a pediatrician and she was very intimidating. And she sat down with her. And then at the end, she said, oh my gosh, like she was dreading asking her in her mind because she thought she was going to like snap at her. And she said, would you mind meeting me at Starbucks? I would love to tell you more about what I do. And the woman looked at her right in the eyes and she said, I was hoping you'd ask me that. So you guys, even if they're a doctor, I don't care what they do, ask them, okay? And see what happens. So anyways, are you doing enough sharing appointments? If you're frustrated, ask yourself, are you doing enough sharing appointments? Are you really asking everybody you know, or are you kind of prejudging people? So there's a team member at every party, and I honestly believe that. And so it is our job to share with them. It is their job to decide if it's for them or not, okay? And so lastly, I want to talk about the quality of people. So you guys, the quality of people has nothing to do with the amount of money that they make. It has to do with their desire. You can write that down. It has to do with their desire. Like, are they hungry for more in their life? Are they hungry for change? You're not going to want to drag somebody through, by their hair, like through the mud, because if you do that, you're going to drag them forever, and you don't want to have to do that. So look for somebody who has desire. Ask her questions about her life. Honestly, get to know her. Sometimes I think people forget that. Like Mary Kay's biggest thing was make everyone feel important, treat everyone as if they were wearing a sign around their neck that said, make me feel important. So are you really genuinely doing that? Make sure to get every single potential in front of your director. And you guys, I can't stress this enough. When we go out, I never did my own sharing appointments by myself until when I was in DIQ, I guess I did, because I had seen so many. But you guys don't want to be doing those on your own, because there's different things you're going to be learning. You're not done with your training yet. And Mary Kay, your training goes all the way up until you become a sales director. And so, up until you become a DIQ, we do all your sharing appointments with you. And then up until you become a director, we do all your welcome appointments. Once you become a director, you'll start doing your welcome appointments, meetings, things like that. But there's a reason for that. And it's because, we'll be honest, even if you've done a lot of sharing appointments, if you're not a DIQ yet, or you're not a sales director yet, there's a reason. And so God or something is like, you need more training. Everyone is different, you guys. Everyone's different. So just remember that and keep that in mind. Chances are, we can overcome objections and stuff and answer questions that you may think, like in your mind, like at a sharing appointment, oh my gosh, that's a dead end. And then we can overcome it like that. So that's another thing too. Layering them is really important. Okay. So most women need to be exposed at least 3 times. And some people will even say 4, but I say at least 3 times, at least. So they have the facial, you do the sharing appointment, and then you invite them to an event, or you can invite them to like a sharing appointment, or I'm sorry, you can invite them to an event, or you can send them a video. Like Stephanie Coker has a really good video I sent out to people. So there's just different things that you can do, but the sharing appointment needs to come right after the facial. Unless there's like an event or something the next day. That would be like a situation where you'd be like, okay, invite them, but get them scheduled for a sharing appointment ASAP. And you guys, honestly, sharing appointments, they don't take that long. They take like 20, 30 minutes. And so, think outside the box. Sometimes I will get like a couple weeks ago, I was getting up and I drove to Waco. I got up at like 4:30, 5 in the morning, so that I could be to Waco by like 6:30. To do a sharing appointment. And guess what? She signed. Her name's Renata, and I absolutely adore her. She ended up signing. She came in with her order. She's well on her way. Seriously. So do things. Think outside the box. Okay? So I am going to challenge you all to go out and schedule at least 6 sharing appointments this month. Okay? If you have not done your pearls yet, ask your director. Even if you're like over the time period or whatever. Say to your director, hey, I would love to earn my pearls. Like, can I do that challenge? I know it was closed to me, but can we open that back up? Ask her. I'm not going to speak for your directors, but ask her. You know, do your and even if you have earned your pearl earrings, just relaunch yourself. Okay, not for the jewelry, but for yourself. Just do 6 sharing appointments this month, and then after you do those, I want you to message me. Like, even if you're not in my area, I'm like, oh my gosh, I do my 6 sharing appointments, and like, tell me your results, because you guys, you could go through your Facebook easily, easily. Even for me, who I feel like I've shared with everyone, I could probably go through my Facebook and pick out 6 people to do sharing appointments for me. So it's that easy. And so who are the women on your chicken list? Okay, we all have that list, right? Of those women that, you know, oh my gosh, they just seem so perfect. Everything's perfect in their family. So we don't share with them and we don't ask them. Ask them. Ask them. There's actually one girl that I'm really nervous about, but as soon as they get off this, I'm gonna message her. I am. So anyways, her name's Dana. So you guys can hold me accountable and be like, hey, what happened with her? So I really just committed, right? Because I have to do it now. So anyways, ask to borrow them for 10 to 15 minutes. If they aren't like near your director or whatever, doing it on the phone. If not, meeting in person. And the way that Stephanie Coker views this, she says, y'all can huff and, like, when she's in her party, she's like, you guys can huff and puff and make angry faces, but it is my job to tell you about the Mary Kay opportunity. And what Mary Kay Ash wanted, it was to educate you, and then you can make a decision for yourself, whether it's for you or not. And you guys, I was recruited by the Pearls of Sharing. I never even had a facial. So I was recruiting this girl from school that I hadn't talked to in a really, really long time, was like, hey, Jocelyn, I need one more person for this, da, da, da. And I was like, girl, I am never doing Mary Kay. Like, it is not my thing. And here I am sitting in front of you. She's not in Mary Kay anymore. And so my point is that you guys just never know. She picked me on Facebook. She private messaged me on Facebook. So you guys just never, ever, ever, ever know. She changed my life forever, and my whole family's life. So just imagine who you're not sharing with that you could be sharing with. So I want to leave you with this, you guys. Whose dreams are tied to yours? And I want you to think about that. Close your eyes. Think about that. Whose dreams are tied to yours? There are women out there that you have not even met yet, that you will change their life. Okay? I mean, seriously, there are women. I have 15 parties booked for this weekend. And I know I'm going to pick like 4 or 5 women out of that whole array I'm going to see that are going to like join my team. And, you know, who knows if one of them is the next Leah, or one of them is going to be like going and doing amazing things in her life. You just don't know. So, you know, when I sit back and I look at it, you know, at Tara's, this past video, Tara's last meeting, and I was just like, wow. Like, I was looking at, so we had about 40 guests for the skincare class, and I always make sure I have, you know, so if you are building your team, if you're somebody who's a DIQ, or you're somebody who is building your team, and you know, leading by example. So I had like, I think 17 people there personally, so I always have a lot of guests there. I like to really take advantage of that time, so make sure to have guests at your meeting. But anyway, I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like the meeting portion, I think we had 25 girls there for the actual meeting, and I was like, wow, like if I would have not kept going, none of these people would be sitting in front of me. Tara wouldn't have became a sales director or earned her car. I mean, like, seriously. So thinking about that, whose dreams are attached to yours? Who you haven't met yet, you're going to change their life. I don't think that made sense. That's what happens when I try to read. But anyways, the point is, you guys, have fun, be passionate, be excited, because what we do is fun. This is amazing. Like, we party for a living. Like, how freaking amazing is that, right? So have fun with it, be passionate, and change women's lives. And know that you are enough. I think that is the biggest thing that holds people back, is our self-doubt in ourselves. And you guys, you have it. You have what it takes. You got on this video, right? You're making that first step. So anyways, the password is very fitting. It is Cadillac. So tell your director what the password is, message it to her, and then make sure to fill out the form, okay? So I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wish I could see your feedback, but do not feel like you cannot friend request me on Facebook or whatever and private message me and let you know your results from booking your 6 sharing appointments with your director. All right, bye.